Hi Libra, welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for April of 2020. We've got news about Venus, your favorite and mine, planetary ruler of Libra, also about Mercury, which is moving really fast this month, and Mars and the new and full moons. Hey Julia, take it away.
All right. Hey, Libra. So I'm going to talk about Venus first, which is a very dear planet to you because that's your ruling planet. She's the planet of art, beauty, and relationships. And Venus begins the month of April in your ninth house of travel and adventure on April 3rd. And she's going to remain there all month. So if you are doing any travel this month, then you could have a fun holiday romance or a crush on a foreigner. And if you have a partner, then you could want to try to go on some type of adventure with them, like hiking or trying something new. And the next planet I want to talk about is Mars. And Mars entered Aquarius during the tail end of March, and it's going to remain in Aquarius throughout April, which correlates with your fifth house. And wherever we have Mars is where we feel really driven and where we can also be a little extra competitive and impulsive. So you can be driven to sort of going out and hanging out in places of amusement like nightclubs and casinos and theaters because that's what the fifth house represents. And if you're a part of any sports or teams, then you could also be a little extra competitive this month as well. And since this is the house of gambling, be careful of not being too impulsive with making any bets. No. And then the last planet I want to talk about is Mercury. And Mercury is going to be moving super fast this month. So it's going to go through 3 different houses of yours throughout the entire month. And again, Mercury is the planet of communication and thinking. And it's going to begin this month in your 6th house, which is the house of organization. It's also one of Mercury's houses as well. So it's very strong here. So this is a great time for spring cleaning. And if you need to get better organized in any way, take a trip to the Container Store or read some Marie Kondo because you're going to just want to get everything all tidied up. And then on April 10th, Mercury enters Aries, which is your 7th house. And again, Mercury being that planet of communication and thinking, and the 7th house represents partnerships of all kinds. So this could be a really good time for reaching out to a consultant, like a lawyer or a social media consultant or a web designer or a counselor. And you're going to do your best thinking with a partner to bounce your ideas off of instead of just on your own. And then on April 27th, Mercury enters Taurus, which correlates with your 8th house. And the 8th house, it's the house of shared resources. So that includes debts, inheritances, investments, things of that nature. So wherever we have Mercury is where we do all of our thinking and our focus. So you could be coming up with strategies to kind of deal with and handle your money with other people or institutions like banks.
But don't wait till the end of the month to do your taxes, Libra.
Oh, that's some really good advice, I think. Definitely. So what do you think, Jamie, for this month?
Well, there are a couple of moons that I want to talk about. On the 7th, we have a full moon in Libra. So that's your sign. It can make you more emotional, just so you know. It's going to really emphasize and re-emphasize the relationship themes that are already going on with Juno retrograde in your sign. You probably already know about that, but even if you don't, you should go to our 2020 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, where you can find out about Juno retrograde this spring because it's bringing a really big relationship retrospective and renegotiation period. And as a Libra, I think you're on a need-to-know basis about that for sure. A full moon tends to bring emotions up to a peak. And this particular full moon with its relationship themes is going to bring you some dilemmas about, am I a partner's partner or am I a person unto my own self? And how do I balance my will with the will of my partner and my desire to partner my partner as well as my partner's desire to help me fulfill myself? And if that sounds complicated, that's because it is. So any and all of those themes may come up around this full moon on the 7th, and just be aware that when you experience a full moon, you'll probably be feeling its themes for the day before, the day of, and the day after. Now that's going to be true also for the new moon that's coming later in the month in the sign of Taurus. And that's happening on the 22nd. And it's falling right here in your 8th house, as Julia was saying, of shared resources. Now, this is a house of intimacy, and intimacy takes three forms: physical, emotional, and financial. Physical intimacy, of course, is sexuality, and this is a house of sexuality. Emotional intimacy is, those conversations that you have where you really bare your soul, or where another person does, and you are with them in that place, of depth. And then the third form of intimacy is financial. And that's where you pool your money together with another person's or with a group's. And it does have a very vulnerable feeling to it. So all of these forms of intimate sharing that fall in under the 8th house jurisdiction tend to be, very emotional, very intense areas of life. And this new moon is bringing also Uranus, which is, likely to be passing along through your 8th house for some time. Uranus brings innovation, experimentation, a willingness to try the new and different, and a desire to break down and break up the old. Uranus is squaring off, literally, against Saturn this month, falling in your 5th house of creativity. So there's likely to be some battles, some jockeying for position between a side of you that wants to keep things the same and a side of you that wants to break it all down and start over. And we made a video about this particular new moon, and the theme that we came up with was rule making versus rule breaking. And those themes might come up for you in the financial arena this month because of the way they're captured by this new moon. So you can find out more about that in the 2020 news playlist. And because the themes of intimacy and relationship are so strong this month for you, you might want to consider getting a lifelong love reading or a relationship reading from Pandora Astrology, where you can really look deeply into your relationships and figure out, is this working for me? How's this working for me? How could it work better for me? Because, Libra, maybe you give a little too much sometimes. Maybe you need to bring the focus to yourself a little more. Goodness, I think that's everything we've got for you. I hope you enjoyed it. We sure enjoyed making it for you, Libra. You can always find these horoscopes on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, gathered into monthly playlists for your viewing pleasure, and also on our website, pandoraastrology.com /horoscope is where you'll find the horoscopes, and a whole lot more on our website too. And we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.